Good afternoon. Welcome to the August 20th, 2026 meeting of the Sacramento Area Flood Control Agency Board. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Thank you. Director Desmond, Director Hume.
He's here. Did you call my name?
I did.
I'm here.
Thank you. Chairman Kennedy,
Here.
Director Hedges.
Here.
Director Munoz, Director Jennings.
Here.
Director Kaplan.
Here.
Director Pluckybaum.
Here.
Director Holloway. Director Johns.
Here.
Director Abdis.
Here.
Director Hill and Director Stevens.
Here.
We do have an 11-member quorum.
Thank you. Please join me at the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting of Safca is being broadcast live on metro14live.saccounty.gov and is being recorded and will be re-aired on Metro Cable 14 on Saturday, August 22nd at 4 p.m. and will be available on Safca's website within 48 hours after the meeting. Members of the audience who wish to address the board should fill out a speaker form located here on the lectern and bring it to me. When addressing the board, please identify yourself for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. That takes us to public comments for items not on the agenda. I do have one card from Vicky Updike.
Thank you. My name is Vicky Updike. I'm a resident in District 1 and a volunteer with Riverside Waterway Alliance. And I just came to ask for your continued support in an area that's close to my heart because I walk that levee north Sacramento along Rio Linda Boulevard near the Hanson Ranch property. Right now there is an encampment there that was reported to this board back in May, from my understanding from the Sac Valley Conservancy survey. What was once a small encampment is now a very large encampment. And so we're disappointed that action was not taken further. But at this point, District 1's office, Austin especially, has been very helpful, and we do think that will be resolved. So thank you to Austin and your office, Lisa. But in addition to the encampment, the creek has quite a bit of invasive species. The red-eared slider turtle, the red Sesbania trees. These are all choking this habitat, and this is an incredibly diverse, natural riparian habitat, and it's really special, and we should be doing all we can to protect it. I used to be able to see otters in this creek very frequently, and right now, in this summer especially, it's just covered with water hyacinth. And these types of invasive species cannot just be let go. There has to be action. And so I just ask you to continue to support this habitat and to protect this very precious resource. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming down. With that, if there's no questions of the board, we will adjourn to closed session. Recess. Okay, we'll call this meeting back to order of the Sacramento Area Flood Control Agency. Would the clerk please call the roll to establish a quorum?
Director Olmsted.
Present.
Director Hume.
Here.
Director Kennedy.
Here.
Director Hedges.
Here.
Director Munoz.
Here.
Director Jennings.
Here.
Director Kaplan.
Here.
Director Pluckybaum.
Here.
Director Holloway.
Present.
Director Johns.
Here.
Director Abdis.
Here.
Director Hill.
Here.
Director Stevens.
Here.
We have a full 13-member quorum.
Thank you. That's very exciting.
Excellent.
Okay. There is nothing to report out of closed session other than, Mr. Campbell, would you please give your keys to Mr. Goldberg after the meeting? Next item, please. Next item.
Do we have anything to report out?
No.
Okay, thank you. I thought you were kidding. Can we have consent matters?
Unless he's getting a bigger office.
We have consent matters, items 1 through 7, which are in order.
Okay, are there any questions from the board on items on consent? Hearing and seeing none, do we have any member of the public that would like to address the board on an item that's on consent? Hearing and seeing none, is there a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of consent?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Next item, please.
The next item is the executive director's report.
And I'm going to apologize in advance. There's a few more slides this time. So our favorite picture of all of our wonderful projects that we have with the Corps of Engineers and others. Again, a tremendous amount of activity this year. The stars represent those. We're going to go through a little bit of those a little bit more in detail this time. So, of course, here we have Natomas Basin Assessment District. I got obviously assessment on my brain today. So as we look at this map, the pink areas do represent the areas that have not received or completed construction yet. We want to talk a little bit about Reach A. So when we look at Reach A, the slurry wall work is being completed as we speak. The remaining portions of it north of or upstream of 80 are continuing to get prepped and ready to go. A couple of things working in the way right now with the utility relocations. However, we're on schedule to make sure that those things get done so that the slurry wall work can continue. We also see that a tremendous amount of work is going for those platforms and other pieces that support the equipment to make that work happen. And you can see some of the trenching and other things that were put in place to get that work going. Again, we will continue to work with the Corps of Engineers, our utility partners, including the city, PacBell, AT&T, the folks over at PG&E, and a number of carriers on the cellular side. We have a tremendous amount of progress that's being made, but of course there's sequencing and other pieces that do get in the way of some of the work, so we're just trying to make sure that those move smoothly for our 27 construction season as well. I think I show this every time, and I say it every time that I show it every time. But again, we have cost share components, and when we talk about Natomas, Natomas receives funding on an annual basis, and our cost share theoretically is only 10.5%. However, we do continue to advance things and make things happen on behalf of the project as a whole. That 27 budget appropriation that we've spoke about, and I've shown you probably 5 or 6 times now, that appropriation is somewhat hung up now with the continuing resolution. So what that means, because in the current year, fiscal year 26, we do not have appropriations that were budgeted or approved through Congress for the Natomas Basin. Otherwise, we would be able to say that there is funding coming forward. After the continuing resolution, if there is not bills coming out of Congress and the Senate for the president to sign, we will likely have to take a look and see what the impacts might be going into the construction season of 27. We are reassured the fact that hopefully once we get through the new year that it's already in the appropriations bill of the House. We're hoping that they will pick it up and be able to move forward quickly after that so that we can keep going with construction contracts and other things. And we are definitely keeping on the radar with the Corps of Engineers to find out what the schedule impacts might look like, if there are any at all. But just wanted to give you that full awareness. We've got the great idea that we have $108 million in the budget for the project, but we want to make sure that we can follow through with that. So that is intended to be used in those sections of F and G. That 108 we will try to make sure that gets extended to get as much of the levee work done as possible. We also have seen that the Corps of Engineers is advancing on bids for the named pumping plants in Plant 5, which is a good thing. So they have appropriations currently to be able to go ahead and continue with those. So those are getting on the books now. We've had some other activities going on, not just in Natomas, but also in the American River Common Features 2016. A number of projects have accessed through this Glen Hall Park location, and I'm happy to say that we were able to assist not only the Corps and the contractors for the Corps, but also I believe this was a request from American River for future access to be able to get vehicles and equipment and things through the park without any perilous drive-through with parked cars and other things. But also the restoration of the park, we are helping with the city is helping with some irrigation, some other things. So we're looking forward to getting the turf and everything back in order very soon. Out at the Sacramento Weir and Bypass, the Corps has removed the north abutment and has moved forward with getting 173 new piles installed right at that abutment and the walls next to it. Work is continuous, and we're hoping that they can stick to schedule in 27. There may be some things that come up, but overall, Granite Construction's humming out there. I mean, there's a lot of work activity, and you can see the picture on the right. That's the bridge that's still being constructed. Tremendous amount of activity out there at Sacramento Weir. Adjacent to the weir and the bridge is also the fish passage, and it's quite a sight to see if you go out there. There's quite a bit of concrete that's gone in the ground. Those baffles have multiple different types of species that are supposed to be able to go up this passage to be able to get back into the Sacramento River. Very interesting structure, and it'd be very interesting to see once they have the cameras in place and you can see the fish pass. And of course, we have up on the top end of our system, we have Folsom Dam Race. Tremendous amount of activity going on. We're hoping that it continues very expeditiously. Most of the dikes are done. They're finishing up a few of the punch list items and getting O&M manuals squared away. The main dam and wing dams contract is still active and moving forward, and they are currently working on the proof of concept, but all of this comes together for the main dam and wing dams. We have, I mentioned this earlier, just a few minutes ago actually, the Sacramento County Sheriff's Agreement has allowed this project to be able to go forward so that security is provided. The canines and the staff and the leadership out there has been very much helpful in keeping the Folsom Dam Race project going. Otherwise, it would have stopped a long time ago. So at this point in time, we're happy to say that on the agenda that you just approved, we're extending that agreement a little bit further so that we can compensate the sheriff's office, but also keep the project moving. And we are hopeful that the sheriff and the Corps of Engineers will be able to come to an agreement soon. And again, the Folsom Dam Race, the big piece, we like to show that little light in the bottom right corner. You see the light at the top of that gate. Those gates need to be sealed at the top. That first gate now has a top seal, but the idea is that you do not want water to overtop the gates because it could create problems and fail the dam. But what the reality is that with those top seals, you get a whole lot more space above those gates in order to be able to hold during a very large event. So this is the big piece for getting the Folsom Dam Race done. This is likely going to take a few more years because those Tainer gates that you see here, these are going to be a labor of love for quite some time. So I think for the next 3 or 4 years, these gates will hopefully be continuing to be modified. And as you can see, not small equipment, and again, it's up in the air. It's a very, very tall structure. There is also some activity on the Joint Federal Project. These are the wonderful pictures of that first flow during testing. And then there has been some work on the proof of concept, removing and replacing the hydraulic rams on those gates. If you may recall, the surface treatment of those rods was not up to spec, so they are all being replaced. So the first 2 were replaced very swiftly, and the Corps is very pleased. So with that proof of concept coming to a final, they're ready to move forward with replacing the other rods on the other gates. So they're going to attempt to try and get this done by the end of the year, but it may bleed into the next year. But we're happy to see that everything is moving up at Folsom. And with that, any questions?
Questions? Director Kaplan.
Thank you, Chair. Just quick question, Jason. I'm getting asked, are we on schedule or what's the schedule for the reopening of Garden Highway as you're going through Reach 8? I hear a lot about that in both directions.
I'm going to have to get back to you on that because I don't know when the reopening is going to occur. And I don't know if there's going to be another close off. But I have a couple of folks here that might be able to answer that.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind when they answer to send me an email about that so my office knows when people call, because I'm starting to get more calls as it's now lasted for a while. I think people are, when's it opening?
Certainly.
Thank you.
Why don't you go ahead and send that to everybody?
Sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. Do we have any public comment?
I do not.
Okay. Thank you. Next item.
Our next item is public hearing and resolution approving the supplemental assessment roll and setting the fiscal year 26-27 assessment rate for Safca's Operation and Maintenance Assessment District Number 1.
That would be you.
Yeah. Chair Kennedy, I think there's a slide.
Oh, okay.
There it is. So like in prior years, there is no change to the rate. This is the assessment district that is under the water code and not under 218. We have to approve this in open session as a public hearing annually. The parcels count is still relatively 325,000 parcels, give and take. But again, the rate has not changed, and we recommend that your board approve it.
All right. Thank you. And with that, we're going to open the public hearing. Is there any member of the public that would like to address the board at this time on this item? Hearing none. Close the public hearing. Is there any questions or comments from board members? Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Thank you. And item number 10, we will drop, which takes us to receive and file. And our next meeting is...
Excuse me, Chairman Kennedy, we need a motion to drop it from the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to drop item number 10. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Rest is receive and file. Our next meeting is on September 17th. Thank you, everybody, for your attendance.